Ladies and gentlemen, do not adjust your mobile devices or your computer screens. We are back. We are live, and it feels good to be here. So the hiatus is over. We've been home for a little bit, but life just kind of happened, and we weren't able to get in here in the previous weeks and get the podcast going again. So here we are now. We're up and running, and I think we're going to have a fun discussion tonight. I know that a few people are going to be, are going to be rolling through here as the night goes on, and we'll be joining when they can. So we're going to just kind of get things kicked off here. We'll give everybody a chance to get the notifications out there and get things rolling. We got a few people already on here that are finding us on Facebook and on YouTube. So I tried to get the word out, but I didn't even get this chat made until earlier this morning and get the links out. So I apologize for the late notice, but if you're on the Facebook page, then you did at least get a little forewarning that we were going to be planning to do this week. So anyway, we will be saying hello to people as they come in. We do have one person already hanging out in the green room. So we're just going to go ahead and say hey real quick to Pat. What's up, sir?
Oh, not much. Just got done spraying the rest of my beans. So hopefully 2021 spraying beans is completely done. And yeah, I am glad to be back. I've been waiting for this for quite a while. And yeah, I'm ready to get going.
Good to have you. Good to see that hat back. Love seeing those hats. We'll put a link up here in a little bit, so anybody that's looking for one of those can get one. We're also going to show off the lovely Sandhills Sweetheart. Her fight is my fight, or Not Today Cancer. Both options are available. We've got the nice coffee mugs. We've got some hats, some shirts, some hoodies, men's and women's out there. You know what? We just as well put that stuff up on the screen right there. Go to blackswantactical.com. You can get 10% off your order if you use the discount code Sandhills. So make sure you do that. Nothing's decided yet, but I will put a bug into everybody's ear. We may or may not be considering not a major overhaul of the logo and the brand, but we may be changing things up just a little bit. And so some of this stuff may end up becoming legacy, I think is the word for it, legacy swag. So it'll be limited edition. It will be one of a finite amount that makes them, I think, instant collectors. So go get yours now while you still can before they're unavailable. But nothing's been decided yet, which means that I've kind of made some decisions, but I haven't gotten anything rolling on making it happen. That's actually what that means. So it's probably going to happen. It's just not quite in the works, but I'm going to find a way to make that happen here, hopefully before the end of the year. So your time is limited. Get to blackswantactical.com, find the Team Sandhills collection, and make sure you order everything on there. 3 of everything would be perfect. So all right, let's see. We got emails coming in. Travis P11 didn't see my invite and is on somebody else's chat. And that's what happens. I know that Clover's got stuff going on right now, and that's okay. There just wasn't a time that I could find that worked for me where somebody that I know didn't have something going on. And the issue that I run into is if it's somebody that I know, then a lot of the people that I know that come here also go there, and now we're making them choose. So those of you who are not catching this live, I want to thank you as you're listening to this on replay or catching it on audio next week. These all come out on all the audio outlets, just about any place now that you can find podcasts: Google, Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, Pandora is up now, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, all those are up there. Anchor.fm is up there, so you can go check those out. You can also find us on the Self-Defense Radio Network. We're very proud to be part of that. They're adding more shows all the time, but you can go to sdrn.com and find all the coolest shows in the pro gun world and the pro 2A world. So go check both of those out. All right, what else am I missing? I got to get back in the swing of this. Let's put the scrolling ticker down there. If you're watching us live, we want to know that you're here. Whether it is Facebook, YouTube, doesn't matter what it is. So if you're new on the Facebook side, you need to go to StreamYard, I believe, and allow it to use your name, because I see somebody named Facebook User had popped up and left a comment that says, "Good evening, Patriots," over on the Facebook side, but I can't see who you are if you don't allow it. Give StreamYard that option. So I think there's instructions in the group, the Get Off My Lawn group, if you're catching us from there. Anyway, good to have everybody on the Facebook side and on the YouTube side. And now people are coming in. We've got Defense Dad's out there. I know he's not in the panel tonight because he's got one of those summer colds that is just making it hard to talk. And the more he talks, the more he coughs, rather than just completely hack his head off all night long on the podcast. He's opting to hold it down out there in the chat side. So glad you're out there, Defense Dad. We've got Pat doing double duty there and here. Whoever that is on Facebook's out there. We've got MKJO. We've got Cal out there. And I know there's more people. A lot of you are wanting to know. I was kind of waiting until more people got here. If you're curious, Sandhills Sweetheart is not in her normal seat in the producer's chair, off to my left here. You're right. And so she's feeling good, other than she's just completely wiped out all the time. Her body's still recovering, rebuilding. For those of you that aren't aware, we took the month of May off and part of June from the podcast, and I took the whole month of May off from work. We were in Omaha. She had a stem cell transplant done to cure non-Hodgkin's lymphoma that she was diagnosed with right after the first of the year. And so the process destroyed her immune system on purpose, literally destroyed it, took it completely out. Her white cell count went to 0. And now her body has to rebuild all that. And so, all right. Oh, that's Johnny Decoded out there is the Facebook user. Okay, cool. I know that I can't tell you exactly where to find the instructions, but I know you can Google it if you're on a computer and can do multiple windows there. Johnny Decoded, you can go see how to do that, and that actually shows your name up here then. So, all right. Anyway, where was I? Sandhills Sweetheart, she feels okay, other than she just doesn't have very much energy. She can't do very much at one time without having to take a rest. And so she wasn't sure she could actually hang out for us for a whole podcast, so she's not in here with me. She may or may not be popping in on the live chat. I'm not sure. We'll see what the night brings. So if you do see her out there in the comments, then you will get a chance to say hi to her. So those of you that are praying for us, we appreciate it. The prayers definitely are making a difference. Everything that has worked out, we're absolutely positive. It's nothing that we've done to make stuff work out. Everything's worked out too well. Only the man upstairs could be doing it. So he's hearing the prayers. Please keep those coming. But it's going to be probably another month or two before she's back up to where she feels good. Along with her immune system, her taste buds got taken out too. And nothing tastes right. So, or very little tastes the way it should. And it's just very discouraging to be hungry and think that something sounds so great. Then you bite into it. It doesn't taste like it should. And it just kind of ruins the whole meal for you. So, we're slowly but surely finding a few things that do taste okay, and as her body rebuilds, more and more will come back too. But we're looking at probably August, September before anything is back to what resembles normal for us. So, all right, and then last but certainly not least, we do want to mention tonight's sponsor. We're very, very happy that all of our sponsors were understanding that we weren't going to be putting their names, their logos out in front of everybody as much as what I wanted to. So I appreciate everybody's patience, everybody's grace for dealing with that tonight. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook on the page. And I found a way to make us live in the Get Off My Lawn Facebook group. So if you've liked our Facebook page, there is a group for those who have liked the page. It's just Get Off My Lawn. You can get a link to it right from our Facebook page, but we're live in both places, inside the group and right on the page, along with the YouTube channel. So, all right. But we are brought to you live in all three places tonight by Open Country Firearms in Osmond, Nebraska. Get a hold of Garrett for all of your firearms needs, your ammo needs. If it's out there, he should be able to track it down. It may take some time, but he's been awesome at getting things for people. And then not only regular firearms, not only ammo, but he also is a silencer shop affiliate as well. He's got the kiosk right there in his gun room in his office. And so you can go buy suppressors. I saw a Facebook post the other day. He had about a half a dozen letters from the ATF that were all laying there on his desk. So according to the caption that he put up, it looked like those must be federal tax stamps. So there are some more suppressors that are going to get out of ATF jail or NFA jail, I should say, and be able to go home finally. So it's a big day when you can actually take that item that you bought and paid for, and it's your property and you own it. And the government says, okay, it's okay for you to take this home now. So that's pretty cool. So make sure you go to opencountryfirearms.com, or you can get a hold of Garrett on his cell phone, 402-841-0970. And like I said, if you're looking for it and you're in Northeast Nebraska, it's worth the trip to Osmond or just a phone call to see what Garrett can do for you. You can also find him on most of the social media. I know he's on Facebook because that's what I have. And I think he's on Instagram and some of those others as well. So go check out Open Country Firearms. And again, Garrett, we're very, very thankful that you helped us go live in multiple places tonight. So, all right. Let's see. We've got who else is out there in the comments? Greg's out there on Facebook training new shooters in South Central Iowa. I don't know my Iowa geography real well, especially not South Central. Central Iowa, I know a little bit. My wife used to live in Carroll. Also, for those of you that shoot rimfires, Carroll, Iowa should be significant. That is the home of Volkortson Firearms. So she actually knows Mrs. Volkortson. I keep hoping that one day she'll use her connections to use their connections to get me a tour of the plant. Hasn't happened yet, but maybe one day I'll get her to ask for that for me. So, all right. So there we go. I think some more people should be joining. I thought maybe we'd have some more people. Before we get real deep into our discussion, because I don't want to go back over stuff once we have more people here in the panel, but I do want to find out real quick, does anybody out in the comments have any questions, topic ideas, things that you want us to cover? We may not get to them tonight, but I do want a little bit more interaction if I can get it. Not necessarily something that is dated. You know, we can talk about Sloppy Joe and the things that he said about F-15s and nukes, but you know, anybody that's watching this 3 years from now may not remember that. And so what I like to cover is just ideas, kind of things that you know, are relevant kind of at any point, you know, even in the future. So keep those in mind. Two Live Moose out there, Keith Gregory's out there. What's up, everybody? Glad everybody's finding the link and getting in here. So, all right. All right. You know, it's kind of like riding a bike. I haven't done this in so long, and it still feels pretty good. But then sometimes I kind of go along and realize I just completely lost my train of thought and forgot what I was about to say. So we're going to keep going. I do want to give a quick shout out before I forget, because we do have, see if I can do this in here. We do have an online town hall scheduled next Monday night, not on my channel, but on the Nebraska Firearms Owners Association Facebook page and YouTube channel. So I'm going to put a link on the YouTube side up to watch that. We've got a diversity shoot coming up end of July in the Omaha area. And Cal, I'm not sure what that even says. You just completely distracted me there. Tony Simon, the one from The Second Is For Everyone, or 2A4E, that Tony Simon, the largest pound-for-pound gun bunny in America, is going to be joining us in July. He's flying out. I say Omaha, it's technically Bellevue, but if you don't know Omaha, then, I mean, that's kind of like saying, well, it's Denver. No, it's technically Littleton, okay, but it's still Denver, right? So it's going to be in the Omaha area. Diversity Shoot is coming to Nebraska, and he's been talking that up a little bit every place that he is able to talk about it. The date's going to be July 25th. Athena Arms in Bellevue, Nebraska is going to be the venue. So you can go check that out. We don't have tickets up yet. We're going to sell tickets. We'll put them on Eventbrite. More to come there. But a lot of you maybe aren't aware of Diversity Shoot, what it is, what that means. So we're going to be discussing that in detail Monday night, 7:30 Central Time is when that's going to happen. So we'll have Tony Simon, we'll have NFOA President Trish Harold there, and then I hopefully will be there to click all the buttons and run everything. And so I want to put this link up while I'm thinking of it for the YouTube side at least, and then I'll have to go find the Facebook side here after a while. Anybody out there? I don't see Defense Dad's my only blue wrench out there. If any of my blue wrenches have the option of going over to the Facebook NFOA page and putting the link up to that upcoming live stream, that online town hall, then put that out in the comments, would you? So I can copy and paste that over there to the Facebook side. Okay. I can't stall anymore. I think we're going to get going. Hopefully we get more people in here. I sent out a lot of links. It was kind of late notice. I did invite a few people that are kind of known around the Pro 2A community to weigh in. So we may have a few people stopping in as they can. We might not have them for the whole time, but we'll see what we can get accomplished here. So there's been a lot of talk, and this isn't really a new idea. This is something that's been happening off and on forever, I think. But as we know, there are millions upon millions of new gun owners in the last, let's say in the last 2 years here in the US. And some people decided that after seeing the lack of police response to the riots, after seeing that, hey, sometimes an angry mob will stand, let's not worry about semantics here or nitpick the details, on the lawn, beside the lawn, on the sidewalk, on the street, doesn't matter. Will stand right outside somebody's home, look at them in the eye and say, hey, we're going to take your house. We're going to burn it down. We're going to kill your dog. We're going to take your house and I'm going to live there. And this is going to be my bedroom right through that window, whatever is the case. There are people that have decided that, hey, all of a sudden, that double barrel shotgun that Joe Biden said is all you need, fire 2 blasts up in the air. Number one, most cities won't allow for such a thing. But number two, what are you going to do even if you weren't aiming up in the air? What if you were aiming at, people that were rushing you? What's a double barrel shotgun going to do when there's 40, 50 people in a mob coming at you? So people are deciding all of a sudden, hey, maybe we do want to get something. I'm going to stop right there. We want to welcome Tony Simon into the room. Were your ears just burning? I was just talking about you.
Actually, I was watching the show.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. I was going to tell you that I said nothing but good stuff, but I guess you know better by now. So.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was like, okay, where's the link? Oh, there's the link. All right, I'm on.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. So I hadn't got too far into what we were actually going to talk about tonight, but we will come back. I did mention we're going to do diversity shoot, and we've got the online town hall next Monday night that you're going to join us for. We're going to talk about that here after a while if you've got time to hang around with us. But I kind of want to get into the meat and potatoes here a little bit.
Oh, yes, let's get on with the show. I mean, I'm going to be on Monday, man. So,
Yeah.
Let's do this. I'll probably do what time is it? I'll try to do half an hour, 45 minutes.
That's about what we're not going to go
cool.
too late anyway, so we should be good. So all these new gun owners, for whatever reason, but a lot of people have decided, hey, I'm going to get myself a gun. All of a sudden, people are starting to realize, hey, limiting magazine capacity, maybe not the safest thing for me anymore, you know? So a lot of people are going out there and their eyes are getting opened. I think it's a great thing. For whatever reason people are buying guns, I don't care what their reason is. I just want to see more guns sold. Now, having said that, yes, it sucks because they've raised the prices on all of them for all the rest of us too. They need to buy ammo. We want to buy ammo. Everybody's scared. So whenever riots may be happening, ammo sales typically increase anyway. Yes, it's all come together to create the perfect storm. Nobody can buy ammo, or you can find it, but it's not cheap. And so I get it. It sucks. But that still means that there are millions more people exercising the rights and celebrating the freedoms that we have in this country that are spelled out and guaranteed and protected by our Constitution. So, having said all that, every time you turn around now, you're seeing somebody spout off that says, well, I'm okay with me having a gun, and I'm okay with you having a gun because I know you and I trust you. But I don't think that this group of people or that fella down the street or whatever is the case, I just don't think that they ought to be able to have a gun. Now, this isn't based on whether or not they're a felon, right? The federal government says they can't have a gun then. This isn't based on any of those boxes on the 4473. Illegal drug use, being adjudicated mentally incompetent or mentally defective. You know, none of those criteria have been met. If they were to fill out a 4473 and go through the NICS check, they would pass it. It's just that all of a sudden we've got people who think that somehow they're in charge, or they should be put in charge of determining who can have a gun and who can't. This has been happening for a long, long time, right? I mean, that's how we got the NFA. That's how we got every gun control measure that's ever been put in place, was somebody thought that somebody else shouldn't have a gun. But we've gotten past a whole lot of mistakes that we've made in this country. We have put all of our citizens, when it comes to our rights, on a level playing field now. And there's nobody that doesn't have the rights that everybody else has, unless they've made their own bad decisions and their choices now prohibit them from possessing a firearm. But nobody's born prohibited. Nobody's born a felon, right? So these are all active choices people make that cause them to be able to lose the ability to exercise that right. Lots of examples, and anybody that wants to bring up some examples, we can kind of talk about them, and we can dissect them a little bit. But just in general, I mean, I just kind of want to kick this off. And right now there's only the three of us, so we don't have to really worry about going around the horn or going in order so much. But I mean, Tony, I know that you're plugged in to a lot of pro 2A groups, and you're in a lot of pro 2A circles and a lot of pro gun circles, which aren't always the same. So are you seeing that this is getting to be more and more common, or is it just because it's always been there? Now I'm starting to notice it because I'm paying attention. I mean, what are you seeing from the circles you run in?
I think I've seen more vocal, and it's because of the reason I'm seeing more of it is because of what I do. The diversity shoot, and I welcome all people. I don't know why I'm not going, but a diversity shoot, and when I say I welcome all people, it threatens some people. Well, why do you welcome? And they and I'm like, wow. And one of the things I saw Muslims and LGBTQ. And I'm like, bro, they're human beings just like you are, and we need people on our side, period. And if you're out there and you're voting, and you're active and an activist, and you're fighting for the 2A, regardless of what party you're in, regardless of your voting record, if you're fighting for the Second Amendment rights of all people, if you're making gun control toxic for any political party, then we need to pair up and be allies. We don't have to be best friends. We don't have to do karate in the garage, but we have to get together and fight this fight.
Can we build bunk beds?
You can if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, I see stupid things, bro, and it's like, yo, you can't be a gatekeeper. You just can't.
And that's what it comes down to. So many people are self-appointed gatekeepers. But how would they feel if somebody turned the tables on them and said, well, okay, but we're going to have a gatekeeper. It's not you. And now you don't get a gun because I said so. I mean, they wouldn't put up with that. Then all of a sudden we start to hear the bluster, the tough talk comes out, or the tough typing comes out for the keyboard commandos, right? But that's exactly what happens. And that's one of the reasons why I asked if you wanted to join this panel, Tony, is because precisely the fact that you do the diversity shoot. And I wondered maybe if you didn't get a lot of pushback from time to time because you're trying to bring people into the fold. G23 says he was looking forward to karate in the garage. Dude, you can still do it. You just don't have to. Okay. Maybe Tony doesn't want to do karate with everybody that he meets. But here's the thing. Here's kind of how I lay it out. Let's say that we're in a hits the fan moment, and you're on your rooftop, and you've got 4 sides to cover. You're all by yourself. You can't cover all 4 sides at once. You've got 2 choices. You can either do it all by yourself, or you've got, say that there's somebody shows up with, a whole bunch of ammo cans full of ammo and a couple rifles, and they're willing to watch your 6, but they're gay. But you've got an angry mob coming for you. Is it okay if that gay person watches 2 of those walls while you watch 2 of those walls? Or a Muslim person? Or fill in the blank, whatever race that maybe you think isn't cool, or whatever group you think isn't cool. Maybe they're heaven forbid, they're a Democrat, liberal, gun owner. Would you be okay with them watching your 6 so that nobody burns down your house in that case? I mean, that's what it comes down to. This is a fight. We're not slinging lead here. We're doing the bigger fight. We're trying to win hearts and minds. We're trying to win in the courts, both legal and the courts of public opinion. And I just can't see anybody willing. I mean, why would you cut your nose off to spite your face? That's what it comes down to.
And I'm finding it's mostly ignorance and tribalism. You want to hold on to something that's not there. It's not there, bro. All right. So you want to hold on to this 1950s image of whatever. And I'm like, not happening. It's over with. That dog's left. That horse has left the stable. You ain't closing that door anymore. So now you're going to have to bring these people in that have different ideas than you, different upbringings than you, different, maybe even values or cultures than you are. So instead of fighting it all and saying those people, maybe you should invite them in and try to find that common ground, because that's exactly what I do. And I'm not going to be able to turn every Democratic Muslim gay person that I have in in my event, um, into a pro-gun person. But what I did do and what I am doing is belying that stereotype they've been taught about what a gun owner is. When you roll in a room in Jersey or Pennsylvania, where I've been hosting events for years now, years in Jersey and for the past over a year in Pennsylvania, you're seeing blacks, whites, women who are competitive shooters, Chinese, Asian Americans, and it's not all bearded white dudes that hate everybody that's not a bearded white dude. And it's like, yeah, it's a whole community. Now, you want to tell them about gun control? Because I'm here to tell them about gun control and how gun control is bad and how gun control has separated Americans and allowed people to be slaves, allowed people to be enslaved, allows entire people to suffer from genocide across this country. And regardless of your religion, by the way, depends on where you are and what time in history you were a target. Whether you're Catholic, whether you're Church of Latter-day Saints, whether you're Native American, indigenous peoples, this country has never worn that white hat that we somehow want to pretend we wore. And it's time to gather all those people together and make them back us too. We don't have to be politics outside of Second Amendment, but we need to make any gun control toxic to any political party. They have to take it off the table if they want to survive. And the only way we're going to do that is to bring in people from the other political parties as individuals and make them change the politician's mind. Because a politician's mind will change with a poll. They do a poll and find out that their constituents don't like something, they will change up or figure out a way to backpedal or move away from it. And that's what we have to make political parties do.
Exactly. All right, real quick, we've got two people have popped into the green room while we've been talking here. So we want to say hello to both of these guys. First off, we've got the fashionably late Paul Lathrop from the Second Amendment Foundation. How are you, sir?
Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Yeah, you and 99.9999% of the rest of America.
That's okay. You don't have to know who Paul is, but I guarantee if you have ever been around GRPC or AmCon or any of these events, even the 2A Rally for Your Rights that was virtual last year, you might not know Paul's name, his face, or his voice, but you've seen his work, and he does excellent work. So we're going to get to you in a second, but this other guest has limited time, and I told him that we would get him in and then get him back out because he's actually catching us, giving us a few minutes of his evening, but he's a very busy man. So I want to welcome America's Next Top Model, magazine cover model. Wait, was it Next Top Shot model? Guys, Chris Cheng is in the house.
Oh man, well that's quite the intro, and I'm glad that that I'm in good company, and that the Paul guy that you just introduced is an amazing individual, and of course, Mr. Tony Simon. What an amazing kind of guy.
That's right. And I tell you what, we've got Pat in here too, and Pat's not super well known across the 2A circles the way that you other three are, but Pat is a Nebraskan. He is a farmer. And if you ate today, then all of you out there should be thanking everybody just like Pat for making that happen. So he is one of our unsung heroes as well. So thanks, Pat. Okay, so Chris, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there are some people out there that really don't think certain other people who are non-prohibited by the law. Some people think that certain people shouldn't have guns. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but it's happening. It's out there. And I say that tongue in cheek because with everything that's been going on lately, and we're not going to get into, we don't have to do a deep dive into the Recoil magazine cover and all the comments that came with that. Anybody who's been around some of these circles is aware. If you're not aware, unless you thrive on drama, it's fine. Let it go. Go buy the next issue of Recoil magazine because Chris is on the cover of it, sporting a very cool distressed rainbow flag t-shirt. Because here's what's awesome. this goes right back to what you were saying, Tony, and I know I'm doing a lot of the talking while you're listening, Chris, but we're going to get you here. I was just telling my wife earlier after you had said that you might have some time for us, Chris, that of all the people that I know through my computer, you're one of the people I'm most anxious to actually just meet in person, get to know, and be able just to spend some time hanging out with. Because, folks, I've talked to Chris both on and off the air, and he's the same guy, whether he's got a camera in his face or he is competing or he is advocating for the Second Amendment or he's picking up milk and bread at the grocery store. This is just, Chris is Chris. There's no two sides to you. You are who you are. And that is awesome. And I love that about you. Here's the thing. Typically, Chris and I really don't have a whole lot in common, and we ordinarily wouldn't be friends because you're from the West Coast. I'm from the middle of the country. You're an Asian American. I'm a white dude. You are married to a man. I am a straight guy. We've got all these things that aren't in common, and yet you and I both want the same thing. Everyone in America to be able to exercise their right to keep and bear arms, whatever arms they want, whenever they want, wherever they want, as long as they do so responsibly. That's why we're friends, because none of the rest of that stuff matters, and that is really the heart of this discussion. So for the folks out there that really aren't aware how much certain groups of people are getting kind of, I don't know if I want to say oppressed, but I mean, how do I word this? Can you shed some light just on how many people out there are acting like gatekeepers? Because as Tony and I were talking, I mean, it seems to me like it's happening more and more often lately. Maybe it's just because I'm paying attention and they've always been doing it. But what are you seeing, Chris?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, this whole concept of tribalism kind of comes top of mind, right, for me as well. It's sort of like the gatekeepers and the tribes, sort of everyone circles around and kind of keeps the outsiders out, if you will. But that is just antithetical to what America is about. It's not about keeping people out. It's about bringing people together, right, and rallying around common causes, common passions, and also just some of the common threads that connect us through human rights and civil rights, and particularly with the Second Amendment, right? It is a human right that everybody should have the choice to decide whether they own a firearm or not, right, to defend themselves and their family. And right, with a country as large as ours, right, we have almost 340 some million people in our country. Yes, there's a wide variety of people, right, from different backgrounds and ethnicities and sexual orientations and religions. But at the end of the day, all of the sort of labels that we put on each other, right? Oh, I'm gay, you're straight. I'm Asian, you're white, you're black, or whatever. It is. On the one hand, helpful on some level, right? Because there are unique and distinct communities, right? And kind of cultures and mores and history, right, behind each of these different demographics. But I think the thing I think I see happen too commonly is the second we start talking about race or sexual orientation or somehow talking about any slice of America that somehow, right, is different than other parts of our country, it's people get offended like so easily. It's like the snowflakeism of folks just sort of screams to the surface. And I think the point I want to make is just because, for example, I'm talking about LGBT rights doesn't mean that this is at the expense of anybody else's rights, right? It's like, hey, straight people, you're all gonna have like the same rights, no matter what. And all the fight for LGBT equality is about is the equality part. That just gay people like me want to be treated exactly the same as everybody else. And so, I saw some comments on, John, you posted on Facebook that I was coming on. Yeah, two guys were like, I'm not going to tune in because Chris is just going to, try and promote the homosexual lifestyle. It's like, look, everybody, the comments like that are predicated upon the opinion that being gay is a choice, and it is not. Right? So me advocating, for LGBT rights and equality, like, it's not going to make anybody gay. Right? If that's what you're afraid of.
Wait, that's not contagious? I can't get that on you?
It's the gay is not contagious. Like, you're not just going to become gay because somebody tells you how, like, awesome it is to be gay. Like, that's just not how it works. And the way that you pressure test this is you always flip the script, right? So, like, look, if you're gay and someone's like telling you how awesome it is to be straight, it's like not going to make anybody like less gay. Like, they're still going to be gay, right? And I guess, like, if I don't know, I just always think, right, the sort of this other kind of key litmus test is, when did you, anonymous straight person, when did you, straight person, decide and choose that you were going to be straight? Like, it's not a choice. It's just like an innate thing that just happens, right? And so anyway, that's sort of what I have to say about that. But I think back to the main point is that the Second Amendment is for everyone, and people like Tony Simon and Paul and you, John, right? You've been carrying that message, right, to all corners of America, that yes, on the one hand, we are different, but our strength can come in that diversity, right, and the difference of perspectives and experience, and to really paint this picture that the right to self-defense, right, the right to self-defense, and just in a high level, like, that's a human right. And now you add the firearm layer on top of that, and that's a pretty distinctive American right, that I'm proud to say that I'm American and that I want to exercise that specific Second Amendment right that no other, I want to say no other, but few countries, and really no other country in the world has the concept of the Second Amendment baked into their constitution. Right. And so that's where it's something that, wow, it's such a radical concept for government to arm the people, right? If you want to talk about radicalism, like, that is such a almost just this crazy concept, but it's about maximum freedom. It's about giving literally power to the people in a way that no government throughout history has ever really leaned to as hard as the United States of America. And then you have people like us who are willing to right, put our necks out there, and against all the anti-gun folks who try and tie us and our Second Amendment advocacy to mass shooters, and somehow saying, oh, if you support, AR-15 ownership, somehow you support the mass shooters. Like, no. Right? That is a completely false narrative and an inaccurate statement, to say the least. So, I'm honored to be here with you five folks today, because we all understand that the Second Amendment, it cuts across all of these demographics in our country, and ultimately just doesn't matter what your background is, as long as you're a responsible citizen, then right, you have the right to own and bear arms.
Absolutely.
Can I go off on that just a little bit? I want to take it just a tiny bit of a different direction. Promoting gay rights doesn't make somebody gay. Promoting straight rights, promoting black rights doesn't make. Promoting black rights or Black Lives Matter won't make me black. Promoting human rights may make me a little more human.
Indeed. Very well said. I like that.
Indeed.
Actually, I was a white guy until I supported black rights, and then I became black. I'm just saying, that's how it happened.
Wait,
I was a redhead with black.
Because I heard if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black.
It was real quandary because I became white again for a little while. It was weird. I was angry because I just started enjoying the food, and then I was white again.
This doesn't have a lot of bearing on tonight's topic, but I do want to get this point out too. I've said this on more than one occasion. Chris, you actually, this came after a post. I shared your video that you posted when you testified before the Senate, which wasn't that long ago. And people can go look that up and find what Chris said before the Senate. And it's awesome. I loved what you had to say. At that point, I had shared that, and in the caption on my post, I had said, you know, Chris is Asian American. He's gay. He's a top shot. He's a pro 2A guy. You know, he is exactly the kind of person that we need right now to go talk to Congress. And a few people apparently, to be honest, I haven't had a chance to follow up on my post today on Facebook and see those comments, but I'm going to have fun with those folks. But honestly, if anybody's not watching tonight because of who I've got on my panel, good. I did not want them here anyway. But here's the thing is I had some comments on that other post that said, why don't you just say he's an American? Why do we have to make a big deal out of all this other stuff? Now, I know they're coming from a place of, you know, anti-identity politics, right? I know that's what they meant. You know, you're not the token gay guy in our circle. You're not the token Asian guy. You might be the token top shot just because you're 25% of them. But here's the thing is I love the variety that God put on this planet when it comes to skin tones, when it comes to colors of the rainbow, flowers, birds, animals, whatever it is. I love the fact that we're not all the same. And if you want to celebrate who you are, I am not at all for the suppression of that. If you want to use who you are to reach people that I can't reach because of who I am is different from who you are, I think we celebrate that. I think that we celebrate the fact that there are people who are Black, there are people who are Asian, there are people who are Native American. You know, it's cool. I don't want it to be all about that, but I don't want it to be not at all about that either. So the point that we made with that post is because right now identity politics are a thing. And whether we like it or not, if we're going to play this game, we've got to follow the rules that have already been laid out. And old white guys like Pat and Paul and me can get shut down at every turn by the woke crowd because of who we are. But folks like Chris, folks like Tony, people like Gabby Franco, or even Cheryl Todd, they don't fit that stereotypical mold. And those voices can get through when some of the rest of us can't. And I'm all about using every arrow in the quiver, so to speak. Why would we not? When we've got somebody as articulate and intelligent as Chris, who just happens to be not at all what the left is expecting, to come in and testify on behalf of our rights as Americans to keep and bear arms, why would anybody not be all about having Chris do that? And it's not just about what you said. It really is about who you are. But who you are is an American. Yes, I love that. I love that you are a great guy. I don't know if you're into hugs, but I am. And when I meet you, I mean, I'll hug your neck. I'm not worried about any of it getting on me. Okay. I know who I am and I'm secure with me. I get to hang out with Tony in July. I wish you were coming to Nebraska to the diversity shoot with us. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. And, you know, but before I got to head out here,
yeah,
I want to kind of just conclude, I mean, and to build on what you said there, John, right? It's, you know, when any of us kind of shine a light on sort of an aspect that might be different, like, you know, my Asian background or my gay background or my gun background. The main message for this is that we need to be out and proud about who we are, regardless of what your background is. And I think back to the concept of the Second Amendment and gun ownership. I see too many gun owners who are afraid or who are ashamed to stand up and say, I am a gun owner. So that is the main thrust of what I'm trying to do, to remove that veil of shame, of fear, of uncertainty and doubt about, well, what will happen if this or that, if I come out as a gun owner, like what's going to happen? It's like, look, right, if we want to live in a free country, and if we want to promote American values like liberty and freedom, then we have to live those values, and our actions need to back up the words, right, that we're saying. So, just the simple act of saying that I'm a gun owner and that I support other law-abiding, responsible gun owners, right, in our country, that actually makes a huge difference, right? Because just like being gay, someone who looks at me on the street may not know that I'm gay, and they're not going to know that I'm a gun owner unless I'm vocal about it, right? I need to be visible. I need to be vocal about it. And so that's ultimately what I want to encourage for all gun owners in America, to follow the same values, right, that we espouse, and to be vocal and visible as gun owners.
Yep. No, and that's what we're all about. This is who I am. Let me be me. I'm not going to expect you to be like me. I want you to be you. And that's what's awesome. Chris doesn't walk around expecting me to be gay. Chris doesn't walk around expecting me to work at Google. That's just what's good for you is great for you. And if it works for me, cool. And if it doesn't, welcome to America. We'll go do our own thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the best part is that, look, we can be grown-ups and we can come together over this common denominator. And it's not so much just about the guns. It's about the concept that, we're both human beings. And if you're nice to me, then I'll be nice to you. That's what it really comes down to. I don't respect everybody that I meet, and I don't care about everybody to the same level that I do others on the planet. But at the end of the day, if you're my friend, then you're my friend. I don't care what you look like, or, well, I guess I do care what you act like, but none of that stuff matters. If we're in the same foxhole, I want you to have my back. I'm going to have yours. So, Chris, I know you got to run. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Can't wait till we can actually get in the same place at the same time, and I can physically shake your hand and hug your neck. But thanks for everything that you're doing. I know you're not going to quit, but don't stop now. We're getting some traction. Let's keep it rolling.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good to see you, John, Pat, Tony, and Paul.
And everybody go buy the next issue of Recoil Magazine, and let's make that the highest selling issue ever.
Amazing. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for being on tonight, Chris. Appreciate it.
All right, Paul, I haven't had a chance to get you in here a whole lot. So what are you seeing in the circles that you run in as far as people trying to be the gatekeeper, and even within our own side, we'll leave the left out of it for now, just on the right, saying that, hey, there's certain people that we need to hold back, right? And hold them down, and they don't get the same opportunities and rights that we all do.
I'm very fortunate in that I, in my position, get to be the voice box for the SAF. And I don't speak for the SAF, but my voice is a large part of what the SAF stands for. And so I see commentary like that every day flow by in the conversations when I do Facebook and YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty much just ignore it. I prefer to focus on the positive of what's happening in the comments and go off of that. One thing I would love to do, and I'm just being a little bit of a smart aleck here, but Chris was talking about coming out as a gun owner. And I would love to come out as an F-15 owner and say that everybody else needs to come out as owning an F-15 and a few nuclear weapons on top of it.
I got mine ordered, but I don't know how long it'll take me to make those payments and get it. It's on layaway right now. So
yeah. Palmetto State Armory, right?
Yes. Yes. I don't know. I was gonna check Cheaper Than Dirt, see what they had.
Cheaper Than Dirt has it well above MSRP.
You get really good deals at Cheaper Than Dirt. Everything there is cheaper than dirt.
That all depends on the dirt you're referring to. Yes.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
the
true.
dirt on the moon.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I see the same comments like Paul was saying, and usually I ignore them. I was having dinner with a 2A advocate here in Jersey. My friend, he runs New Jersey NJ2AS, Alexander Rubian,
Sure.
and we're having a conversation, and I go, yeah, certain people say certain things, and he was like, bro, have you ever heard of this saying? You'll never get where you're going if you stop to throw rocks at every barking dog. And that's where I'm at with that. I don't have to comment on every negative thing. Unless, again, I'm not speaking to that negative person. I'm using that person as an example for me to make an overall point, and then I bounce. And that's what I think some of us need to do. We need to be strategic with the snapping back. We can't snap back at every idiot, because usually when they get you in that quarrel and they get you in the mud, all they want to do is make you muddy. So I use strategery to pick out the person I'm going to nail. And then I just keep it moving.
Is that just called strategy, or is strategery different?
Listen, you just showing how ignorant you is.
I know. I know. You and I had this conversation the other day. I told you it's going to come out of my mouth. My ignorance is just going to be evident.
But yeah, it's about strategy. Because I'm also friends with Rob Pincus, who a lot of people in the 2A circle don't like. And I'm like, well, that's between you and Rob. Every time I bring his name up, you don't have to tell me you don't like him. You cannot like him without advertising it, but he's one that will go after everyone, because he wants that argument he wants to bring that attention to himself in that way, and he doesn't mind that. Well, I got other things to do. Maybe Rob just likes being argumentative, but he also says call some of these people on it, because others in the groups that they attack might be reading those comments too. And if you let too many of them flow past, it may seem that you are agreeing with them. Yeah. So, because I told you about the story. Yeah.
Sometimes silence is interpreted as complicity.
Exactly. So I went and I had one diversity shoot. And it's funny because Nashim is a Muslim kid who's a lawyer and a Second Amendment advocate. And he was in college. I host my events on Thursday nights. Only reason is the least busy night for the range. They let me know, and I can put booties in seats. You know what I mean? That night, and it makes money for them. It gets attention for them. Anyway, Nashim was like, "Hey, I have classes every Thursday night, dude." He's like, "I can't come until maybe the summer. If I can catch you at one during the summer, I can come. But once I graduate, I'm going to bring all my Muslim friends I've been telling you about for the last 2 years in law school." So he did. He graduated, rolls in with 6 people, all Muslim, all he knew in school. We had a great time. We introduced them to all kinds of firearms. We took photos together. Positive experience all the way around. Very next day, I post the pictures up, diversity shoot, and somebody went, "Why did you have those people there?" And I'm like, no, just that's not going to work here. And I just blasted that dude out. I didn't even comment. But I'm like, do you understand that this guy's been hyping my event up for 4 years of college? He finally get his friends in that circle to show up. They have a positive experience, and then you say this online. Do you think they're not showing their friends these same pictures and won't see that comment at the bottom of the page? And their friends go, "I told you what they were really like. You just met like the nice ones." And it's like, no, this was an a-hole with Fritos covered fingers in his mom's basement, just spewing hate. And I'm like, I'm not going to allow you to ruin this for me, because it took this guy, the trust he built up with his friends, to have them come to something where they thought everyone would hate them. They had a great time. And then this one a-hole is going to spoil it? No, I'm not letting that happen. Yeah. And that's what people don't understand. The stupid stuff you say in comments, it's not only your little circle of friends. Everybody on the internet can see it. And as
Yeah.
long as the video or whatever stays up, that's there forever. That's written in stone. Now
Yeah,
all of
and
a
even if you
sudden,
take it down, it could be screenshotted. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I do want to get a few comments up on the screen that people have been putting up here. For the most part, there's not really any debate going on out there in the chat that I can see. But this just kind of, all these comments just reinforce everything that we've been saying. G23 said, gun control equals racism. A great 2A advocate told me that. It could be somebody that's even on the screen, I think he maybe meant. Gunpowder Beauty was out there, and she said, gun control equals sexism. Her favorite female firearms instructor learned her that, so I know that wasn't Tony. Tony said gun control is people control. And then the best thing yet, the best comment of the thread here about all these, Defense Dad says gun control should just be about properly controlling your gun. Recent comments notwithstanding, I do like what Clint Eastwood had to say quite some time ago now. His idea of gun control is if there's a gun in the room, he wants to be in control of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of feel the same way. Or I want to know that whoever is in control of it has the ability to use it safely, responsibly, and effectively. So otherwise, give it to me because I know that I can do those three things. So, all right. Oh, we've got into a fighter jet discussion now.
Yeah.
F-15s and 16s
Guilty.
and 22s and 35s. And some old school had to roll out the old F-14 Tomcat. I don't know who that would have been, Pat.
let's understand something. How many of those? I'm an AC-130 gunship.
Woo!
I'm a little
There you
bit
go.
bigger.
Perfect. You can circle around the target and just do devastation.
Are you saying you're spooky then, or what is that?
Yep.
Hey, calm down. You're coming close. You're coming close to being dangerous.
I'm asking
buddy.
questions. I'm calling you nothing. I'm just asking questions.
And the new one is
G23's got a
Spectre.
good one there.
Yes, Spectre, or as some of the people in Afghanistan call it, Steel Rain.
That's awesome.
I love that. Hey, are you spooky? Man, you ain't getting me to say that online.
I just asking the questions here. Oh dear. Admittedly, some things leave my mouth and my brain hasn't even realized how close they can come to other things. I'm just gonna go ahead and hide behind the shield of innocence and lack of worldliness when it comes to some of those things. Double A's right out there. A10, what's cooler than a plane built around a gun? So yeah, one of my favorite planes of all time.
Yeah, when you can lose 30 knots of airspeed just by letting off a short burst, that's a gun,
right? And when it takes, what is it, 3 seconds to give the whole 9 yards on that thing?
Yeah.
Or even better yet, you're well within its envelope before you hear the gun go off or the plane approach.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty devastating.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap things up. We won't go as long as what we typically used to do. I'm going to try and not have these go quite so long. So we will go through and give everybody just a chance to wrap things up and any final thoughts and then where people can find them. And Pat's going to have the list for us out there. So real quick here, again, I just want to, where'd that go to? It's right here. No, it's not. It's right here. I want to thank Garrett at Open Country Firearms in Osmond, Nebraska for being one of our show sponsors and bringing us to you live on YouTube and Facebook. If you are catching this on the replay, we're going to keep this time slot for a while, Thursday nights, 8 o'clock Central Time. So we would love to have you join us and comment out there in the live chat. And if it's relevant to the conversation and I see it, then we can get that even put up on the screen and you can be part of the conversation. It's live, it's interactive, it's way better than watching TV. But that's only possible because of folks like Garrett over at Open Country Firearms. Again, firearms, ammunition, suppressors, anything like that. He is a silencer, which is, I get them mixed up, silencer shop dealer. I'm 99% sure that's right. You can go to opencountryfirearms.com or 402-841-0970. Ask for Garrett. He will get you hooked up. So thanks, Garrett, for all that. And this is his logo. He was nice enough to give me a hat, so I'm going to rock that too. You can get those from him. All right. And then I think that's about it. We're just going to kind of wrap things up here a little bit. So, Paul, you were the last one in, so we'll let you be the first one to any other comments that we didn't give you a chance to make. You go ahead and make them. And then where can people find you saying all the things that you have to say?
Other than we need everybody in the tent. We need to welcome anybody who believes in freedom, no matter the party, no matter the skin color, no matter who they like to sleep with. We need them to be along for the ride. And I think that was kind of the point of your whole show. And
yeah, exactly.
Where they can find me, if you go to the Second Amendment Foundation's Facebook page or YouTube channel. I didn't get one out today, and I've had some health problems. I get usually 4 to 5 out a week now. They used to be daily, but I get a show out almost every day now. The daily bullet and the weekly bullet. Had some health issues, not able to get them out as often as I used to. But go to SAF's Facebook page or YouTube channel, 5 p.m. Central Time, the only time zone that matters. Monday through Friday, you'll see my smiling face and hear my voice, letting you know how to be a better Second Amendment advocate.
Very cool. And thanks for being here tonight, Paul. All right. Tony, anything that you want to say that we haven't given you a chance to voice yet? And then where can people find you and all the cool things that you do?
Yeah, one of the things I want to say is Paul is one of the reasons you are hearing from me, and I'm one of the Second Amendment advocates I am. I was listening to his podcast, well, before it was called the Polite Society Podcast, and I was like, hey, these people are doing good work. I want to do work like this. So that was some of my motivation to get involved in this. You never know who's listening to you and what can come of it. So that's why one of the reasons I do what I do and have my own podcast, the 2A4E podcast. I might be able to reach someone you can't. We do have to invite people from across the aisle. And the reason being, if you're a diehard Republican and vote a Republican in every election your entire life, your Democrat legislators are not going to listen to you. But if you can get Democrats who voted Democrat all their life to tell their Democratic legislators, I want you to leave the Second Amendment alone. Now that's real power. Mm-hmm. You're never going to convince a Democrat not to vote a certain way if you're a lifelong Republican, or vice versa. So that's why we need these people in the tent. And you'll find out when you get together, when you start talking, when you have events like diversity shoots, or you climb out of that box that people are continually trying to put us in, that you have a lot more in common than just the gun thing. All of a sudden you find out you got the car thing in common, or you got the baseball sports ball team in common. You will have more commonalities because guess what? We're in America, and an American urbanite minority has more in common with the country bumpkin white dude than he does with someone from another country. We've had the same breakfast foods. We have the same cartoons. We have many of the same childhood memories. We have many of the things in common to make us Americans. And I think for way too long, they've been splitting us up because, hey, looking at our ages or looking at the gray in our beards, a lot of us have come from the part where we had grown really close in the 80s and the 90s, and there wasn't this bull crap that we're hearing now. There just wasn't. Identity politics wasn't a thing, man. You both busted balls with your friends, and whatever they were, you made fun of it because you were friends. And you could talk like that because you were legitimately friends. And that has been lost for about 10 to 15 years. that's been looked down upon. That's been, oh, you must be anti this. And I'm like, no, we've hung out. We're boys. We've backed each other up in fights. We've loaned each other money. We've done all that. And yeah, we make inappropriate jokes with each other. And that doesn't make me anti anything. So that's what I'm trying to reestablish with diversity shoots. Dude, you don't have to use the every politically correct language to hang out with somebody that's actually your friend. You could talk to your friend like you want. And that's what I'm trying to build with diversity shoots. And if you want to help me fund diversity shoot work, diversityshoot.com. You can buy our swag. You can buy t-shirts. You can donate to PayPal. The work ain't cheap, but man, I have a lot of fun doing it. I'm going to host a diversity shoot every week in July. So we have the first one going down July 8th in Pennsylvania. We have another one the next week, Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park in New Jersey. We finally back there. And then we're going to be at Recoil Range in Monroe, New Jersey. And then I'm following it up by somewhere just as close. I'll be in Omaha area at the end of the month on the 25th. So That's what we're doing. We're trying to make this thing grow. We're reaching out everywhere. You're going to have to welcome these people in if you want to succeed. You're not going to be able to do it by yourself. And people get upset over I say diversity shoot, I say inclusive, I say all those words that you hate, but I'm using the original meaning of those words, not the way they've corrupted them and made them political.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm going to take time before I go to Pat, just a quick sneak peek of kind of what Diversity Shoot is, who Tony is, what he's all about. He will be joining us again, not on this channel, but over on the NFOA channel, Nebraska Firearms Owners Association. I'm going to put a link to the YouTube chat right there. Wait till that uploads, and then I'm going to post a link. I did find the Facebook one. So here is the link to the Facebook, same live chat. You can catch it both places, Facebook or YouTube. Monday night, this coming Monday, the 28th, I believe it is, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Petrolino, I don't care what you say. It is the only time zone that matters. Central Time, right in the center of it all. He can say what he wants, but we all know that, dude, far as I know, you're not even anywhere in this country right now. You're probably off the shore somewhere doing your merchant marine thing. So you don't even get a say-so of time zones when you sail through them all. Again, we're friends, and I can talk that way to him. But Tony's going to sit down and talk about Diversity Shoot and how what Tony does fits in so well with what NFOA is all about. We just want to gain people into the fold. We want members, but more importantly, we want more gun owners, more people just to understand why would you even want to own a gun. So that's what it's all about. And Tony's mission and our mission as NFOA are very similar. So we're going to talk about all that 7:30 p.m. Monday night, June 28th, over on the NFOA channel. So again, be there or be square. And Tony, I thank you very much for giving me some of your night tonight. And I can't wait to meet you, shake your hand, and hug your neck in July too. So warning, it's coming. I don't know if you're into hugs, but I am. So
I think actually when I met Chris Chang, he may be pregnant. That's how much I hugged him in Vegas.
Wait a minute. Is that how that happens? Maybe I'm going to back off on the hugs. I can't get pregnant right now.
They may be a mixed kid. They may be a mixed kid somewhere, but what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Wow, so many terrible things that I can't voice just went through my head. We're just gonna let those go.
Alrighty.
Right. Okay, Pat, go ahead and any closing thoughts for you?
Yeah, follow that one up, Pat.
Yeah, where can people find you? And then
not even gonna try.
Then we'll do the list.
No how. It ain't happening. I just wanted to put a closing thought out there. When Chris and everybody, when Chris is still in here, the one great thing about diversity is that when you have people like Chris, like company, and like the rest of us, they might actually be able to get some of these people that are on the fence about different things and actually be able to get them in and say, hey, here's another community over here that's with us. They're not what you think they are. They're with us. They're not so different. So, and that's the one great thing about diversity is it brings a lot of different people together, and all it takes is a small handful of people to be able to do that, like what Tony's been doing, like what Chris has been doing. You know, all it takes is just a small handful to get things started and get things rolling. So, but then again, on the flip side, I'll play devil's advocate on that too, just like what Tony was saying. Somebody says one thing on a comment, and somebody's had a lot of fun, and they're like, oh, we were right. And they'll turn around and they'll back out. So hopefully people that have come into this have a little bit of a thick skin to be able to weather a little bit of that and look beyond some of these low-level a-holes like Tony described. Unfortunately, they're out there. They're in every single community out there. It doesn't matter what it is.
Sure.
But anyway, that's my finishing thought on that. And I do have the list whenever you are ready for it, John.
All righty. Well, let's just go ahead with that real quick here. Can you see both sides, YouTube and Facebook, Pat, or did you just get the YouTube side?
No, I do not have Facebook.
Okay.
I was hoping you would have the Facebook side.
I've got them real quick here. We've got, who's out there? We've got Greg Chandler, John Petrolino. That might be it on the Facebook side. Who else did we have? I think those were the only two that were making the comments out there on the Facebook side. I know we had more people than that watching, but they weren't commenting, so I couldn't see them. So on the YouTube side, you've got that list.
All right. Well, we have Defense Dad, Cal, MKJO, or as I call him, Mojo, Greg from Facebook, just because I heard you say it earlier, 2 Live Moo, Keith Gregory, Tony Simon, G23, Gunpowder Beauty, Armament and Axes, Tacos and French Fries. I love that.
All right, wait.
Sperminski. That's a good one. Second Amendment Foundation, Mike, and Simon Says Trains.
And we've got a couple latecomers that didn't make the list. DJ Play Nice, Agorizer, and 2A Dave are all out there.
He just popped in on my screen. Yep,
And Gizzard Gary. Gary's out there too. So
Gizzard, yep.
you know what? Oh, Tara Smith. We got more people pop now that we're done. Everybody's here. People like that, I call them a blister. They show up after all the work's done.
Nice.
No, I'm kidding, but not.
I'm
really.
going. I'm out, guys. I'll
All
talk
right.
to
Thanks,
you Monday.
Tony. Monday.
Tony. Thanks for being on.
All right. Hey, it's good seeing you, Paul. Take care.
Yes, sir. You too, Tony.
No, just to expound a little bit on what Pat had said. Yeah, you do need a little bit of a thick skin, but here's the thing: this 2A advocacy thing, it's no different than anything else in life. It's gonna weed out the ones that can't hack it just because they can't hack it, right? So you'll find out if you've got what it takes, if you can do this very long or not. If you don't have a thick skin, you're gonna have to develop one pretty quick. Just how it works, or be like a grumpy old man that just doesn't give two hoots what anybody thinks or says. You can call that a thick skin, or you can call it just I don't give a dang, whatever you want to call it there. All right. Thank all of you who joined us for the live chat. Even though some of you got here late, I hope that you'll go back and watch us on the replay. Find us next week, Thursday night, 8:00 Central Time. There are a couple Thursday nights this summer that I will not be having a chat because I've got a thing that my company sponsors. 2 more Thursday nights this summer for a summer concert series here in my town. But aside from that, we'll either go Tuesdays those weeks or we'll just skip a week. But plan on us for the time being for this summer, at least. We'll stick with Thursday nights, 8:00 Central Time. So catch us next week. Tell all your friends. if you liked what you saw and heard tonight, please share the link, share it on Facebook or share the YouTube link. There's a share button either way. If you didn't like what you saw and heard, and you want to show this to all your friends so that you can all bitch about it together, please share the link. I don't care either way, whether you liked it, hated it, whatever. Just get the word out there that we're having discussions about things that actually matter, or I think things that actually matter. And we're not afraid to talk about some of the big white elephants in the room when some of this stuff happens. So Monday night on the NFOA page, 7:30 p.m. to sit down and we'll talk diversity shoot with Tony Simon again, and just how the Second Amendment really is for everybody. That's going to be it. So on behalf of Chris Chang and Tony Simon, on behalf of Sandhills Sweetheart, who was not here with us tonight, but keep praying that she gets here sooner than later and has the energy and the strength to do it. On behalf of Paul and Pat and myself, couple things I want to say here. I am the gatekeeper. Are you the keymaster? And if you're not from the 80s, that didn't make much sense. That's it.
I just watched that movie tonight.
That's awesome. If you don't know what movie that is, I'm not going to tell you. You're just going to have to figure it out for yourself.
Don't cross the streams.
I looked in the trap, Ray. Okay, so
there is no
note,
Dana, only Zool.
we're gonna call it a night. Thank you for joining us. We love you. It's great to be back. Go catch us on the replay. Share the heck out of it, and make sure you're subscribing to us everywhere that podcasts can be found on the audio side. But until next time, get off my lawn.